I'm calling this Radford City School Board meeting to order on July 14th, 2026. Please join me in a moment of silence. And now let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to be led by the Hallett brothers. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Everyone should have had time to review the agenda. And if there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so the agenda stands approved. And I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Joyce, for the student showcase.
Thank you very much. If we appear to be a little disheveled, it's because we are. We just came back from our summer retreat, and we've got to get our minds in a different gear. We've had a little too much fun this morning, and we ate well, and but we've got to get to some business now, so we appreciate your patience. At our last meeting, we recognized our Perfect Attendance Award winners. There was one student who wasn't able to be here with us. That's Gavin Kelly Hallett, and he is here today, so I would like to formally award him this Perfect Attendance Trophy for not missing a day in 25-26. Come on around here. Maybe Mom can take our picture and make us famous. You want to do that? It's a really big deal to come every day. We appreciate that very much, so thank you for that. All right, and here's this if you like to pop the little, no, I'm kidding. You can put it back in here if you want. Okay, let's head it straight to the trophy case, I'm sure. So some folks' agenda had the full list of recognitions, and some agendas I sent the press too quick. So I'll just put that out there. Your agenda may not or may have our track champions from this past spring. So allow me to recognize at this time our Class 2 Boys Track Triple Jump Champion for 2026, Mr. Essex Williams. Is this Essex with us? Yes, come on up. Mr. Roberts had the honor of traveling with Essex and others. We'll let you speak in just a minute, Coach. We'd also like to recognize Class 2 Girls Track Discus Champion for 26. That's Raylan Adams. Tell us a little bit about the season.
The season, I had to write these stats down because we had a pretty good season, I think. We had the biggest team that we've had since I've been coaching, and Coach Steele and I've been coaching. We had 252 PRs amongst all the kids and all the events. 3 new school records. Cora Mosby set the new 3,200 meter run record. Essex set the 100 meter dash record. Trenton Carter set the new school long jump record. We also had 7 region champs. The boys and girls teams finished 3rd at regions. We had 6 all-state performances. The boys finished 3rd at state this year. Girls finished tied for 4th, which is the best they've done since we've been coaching. And we also had our 2 state champions here, Raylan with a throw of 128 feet, 1.5 inches, and Essex with a jump of 45 feet, 2.5 inches.
Wow, yeah. That's very impressive.
Pretty good season.
Yeah,
He caught
very
some air.
impressive. So that's a really nice way to break in our new track, so we appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the long jump record was set, and it's also a facility record now. It probably won't be touched unless Trent does it again. So, yeah, and he's
Well.
a sophomore. So,
Nice.
yeah.
We're very proud of both of you folks. Thanks for representing the Bobcat Nation. You'll make you famous. Very nice. Thank you all. All right, next up, I'd like to welcome up to the front of the room, please, Miss Lydia Pratt and Ellie Steele. These are Class 2 girls doubles tennis state champs. Also, while to save a few steps, we'd like to recognize Lydia Pratt as the girls Class II tennis champion for 2026. Along with that honor goes the All-State Girls Team recognition as well for Lydia Pratt. So we just keep hauling in the hardware. And we'd love to hear how the season
I have
went.
some words from John Ferguson, who could not be here.
Perfect, thank you.
John and I, John Farr and I are the assistant coaches.
Perfect.
He says, hello, he says, we appreciate Dr. Joyce and the Radford City School Board for the opportunity to recognize the successful seasons of our program. The girls team competed in the state tournament after winning the Region 2 seed for this championship. They advanced to the state semifinals, finishing the season with a 20-1 record. Individually, 3 Bobcats competed at Liberty University: Lydia, Ellie, and Brady Sutherland. I have the honor and privilege of recognizing Lydia Pratt as the back-to-back BHSL Class II singles champion after defeating Central Woodstock 6-2, 6-0 in the final. Lydia finished her singles career at RHS with a 26-0 record and an overall 97-6 record. During her 4 years, she won 4 state titles, 2 singles and 2 doubles, 4 Region 2C singles championships, 3 Region 2C doubles championships,
You go, girl.
and 3 Region 2C team championships.
Or girls.
She was also named to the All-State tennis team each year, as well as the Roanoke Times All-Times Latin tennis team. She also won the Benai Brith Athletic and Achievement Award, the first we think an RHS student received. Lydia and her doubles partner Ellie Steele are the BHSL Class II doubles champions after defeating Ridgeview 6-4, 6-4 in the final. Their doubles record was 16-0. Ellie has also been an accomplished member of our program, winning 3 Region 2C team championships and this year's Region 2C doubles championship. Ellie was also named to the All-State and All-Times Land tennis team. She was also the valedictorian of the class of 2026. Lydia will continue her academic studies and athletic career at Roanoke College. Ellie is attending the University of Richmond. Congratulations, ladies. You've left an incredible legacy in our school.
Very nice. Very nice.
Lydia, why don't you hold tight real quick? As usual, Mr. Ferguson covered all the bases, but I was going to have something for Benai Brith.
Thank you.
I didn't know he was already going to say that. So, as you heard, Lydia won one of our region's highest honors for student athletes, the Benai Brith Academic Achievement Award, which recognizes students who demonstrate excellence in athletics, academics, leadership, character, and service. So there's approximately 20 schools in the Roanoke and New River Valley region who participate, with each school nominating 1 male and 1 female student. So as you heard some of this, her accomplishments are exceptional. She's a 2-time double state champion, 2-time single state champion. She also graduated with a 4.33 GPA and earned her associate's degree from New River Community College while still in high school. And so she was selected as this year's overall female Benai Brith Athletic and Academic Award winner, becoming, as Mr. Ferguson said, the first student in Radford High School history to earn this prestigious honor. So congratulations.
Very nice. You wore the right shirt today, Mr. Simpson.
That's right.
Okay. So next we'd like to recognize a young lady who's done something here while at Radford that very few student athletes have done. Jill Grimm has been named to the All-American Dive Team. And that, so I'm not a diver and I'm not All-American, but it sounds really special. So we want to congratulate and recognize Jill Grimm for being named an All-American diver. So thank you very much for all your hard work. Mr. Olin?
Yes, sir.
Did you have anything to add?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can tell you might.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is what she hates the most about all of this. If you could see her face right now, it's almost as red as her hair.
Well, I'm going to take a picture of it just to see.
It's even better. She'll love
So we
it.
have it for history.
Right.
Exactly. Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to recognize one of the most accomplished student athletes I've had the privilege to coach. Jill Grimm has been named an NISCA All-American in diving, an honor earned only by 5 athletes in the history of Radford High School. But she is the first junior to achieve this status.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Over the past last 3 years, Jill has captured 3 consecutive VHSL Class 2A, 1A state diving championships, earned all-state honors every season, and received an all-time zone recognition from the Roanoke Times. Yet, what impresses me the most isn't just the medals or the records. It's the person that she is. Jill approaches every practice, every competition, every challenge with humility, determination, and grace. She leads by example, supports her teammates, and represents Radford High School with integrity in everything that she does. Her excellence in the classroom matches the excellence she demonstrates on the diving board. After 20 years of coaching at Radford High School, I've learned that championships are memorable, but character is what leaves a lasting legacy.
Amen.
Jill has both. It has been an absolute joy to watch her grow into the remarkable young woman that she is today, and I know her greatest accomplishments are still ahead of her. Please join me in congratulating rising senior Jill Grimm. So we have not gotten the paperwork or anything yet from NISCA to be able to order plaques, but they will be ordered when we get it, and we'll be able to display it with the others.
Can you do me a favor and just keep Jill company for just a minute?
Will.
Because next on the agenda, did you want a picture, Ms. Mosby?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry. So we're being recognized by, B'nai B'rith. We got state champions here. We've got All-Americans here. We also have been recognized by the Virginia General Assembly. And at this time, I'd like for Ms. Grimm, if she would indulge me, I'm going to read a resolution that was presented in Richmond on the floor of the General Assembly. Whereas Jillian Grimm, a student at Radford High School, won the Virginia High School League Class 1 and 2 State Diving Championship at St. Catherine's School in Richmond on February 17th. And whereas Jillian Grimm made history by winning her 3rd consecutive state championship title. And whereas Jillian Grimm's work ethic and leadership motivated her fellow Radford High School Bobcats throughout the year and spurred the team to finish as state runners-up for the 5th year in a row. Whereas Jillian Grimm's accomplishments are the result of her hard work and determination, the leadership and guidance of her coaches and teachers, the unwavering support of the entire Radford High School community, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Delegates that Jillian Grimm hereby be commended for winning the Virginia High School League Class 1 and 2 State Diving Championship in 2026, and be it further resolved that the clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to Jillian Grimm as an expression of the House of Delegates' admiration for her achievements and best wishes for her continued success. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. So you care if I steal some of your thunder? What? Oh. That's yours to keep. Congratulations. That's very nice.
Nice. Great.
So is Cole Martin here? Cole Martin. Okay, you guys remember him? Yeah, he was. He's I guess, former past school board member. Has also been recognized by the Virginia General Assembly. So if you guys don't mind, one more, well, 2 more recognitions. Whereas Cole Brady Martin, a student at Radford High School, won the Virginia High School League Class 2 State Championship for wrestling in the 190-pound weight class at Virginia High School in Salem on February 21st. And whereas Cole Martin made history as a 4-time as team captain, motivated his fellow Radford High School Bobcats throughout the year, leading to 6 state qualifiers and 3 state medalists. And whereas Cole Martin's accomplishments are the result of his hard work and determination, the leadership and guidance of his coaches and teachers, and the unwavering support of the entire Radford High School community, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Delegates that Cole Brady Martin hereby be commended for winning the 2026 Virginia High School League Class 2 State Championship for wrestling in the 190-pound weight class. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to Cole Martin as an expression of the House of Delegates' admiration for his achievements and best wishes for his continued success. And by the way, I do want to say that Jason Ballard is the one who carried these resolutions to the House. So congratulations to Cole. He was here. I think he left a note. I'm sorry that he wasn't here. Obviously, we'll give this to him. But congratulations to Cole Martin. And so one more, if you guys will just bear with me. This is not a student. This is commending one of our very own teachers, Mr. Jeff Brown. Whereas Jeff Brown, a biology teacher at Radford High School, was named the 2026 Virginia Regional Teacher of the Year for Region 7 by the Department of Education, and whereas Jeff Brown holds a bachelor's degree in wildlife management from Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, and a bachelor's degree in biology and an educational license from Radford University, and whereas for 28 years Jeff Brown has provided exceptional mentorship and guidance to the students of Radford High School, fostering a positive and inclusive learning environment that makes every student feel valued and welcomed in the classroom. And whereas in his biology, honors biology, and advanced placement biology courses, Jeff Brown engages his students with the material in ways that spark their creativity and inspire their desire to learn. And whereas Jeff Brown works tirelessly to ensure the academic, social, and emotional well-being of his students, to support his administration and fellow educators in their endeavors, and to nurture a sense of community at Radford High School. Whereas with great compassion and concern for the students and families he serves, Jeff Brown has epitomized the highest virtues of the education profession, earning the esteem and admiration of all Virginians, and now therefore be resolved by the House of Delegates that Jeff Brown hereby be commended for being named the 2026 Virginia Regional Teacher of the Year for Region 7 by the Department of Education. And be it further resolved, the clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to Jeff Brown as an expression of the House of Delegates' admiration for his contributions to the education of young people in Radford and the Commonwealth. So congratulations to Mr. Jeff Brown. If you'll take this, you don't have to take it now, but just don't forget to take it. And Mr. Wade, if you don't mind delivering Coles to Cole or Mr. Martin. Thank you very much. All right, so who said that July can't be full of school and student recognitions? I will now turn it back to you,
Okay.
Ms. Boyd. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and looking at consent items, if there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and consent items stand approved. Are there any folks? There's hardly anybody left, I doubt it. Okay, so we don't have any public comments today. So I'm going to pitch it back to you, Dr. Joyce.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. First item on the agenda is the New River Valley Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities bylaws approval. You guys have had a chance to look that over. It's modeled closely after other governor's schools in the state of Virginia. We are so excited to have this program starting this fall, and we just respectfully ask that you guys take a look at the bylaws and approve those so that we can get started in earnest.
Can you tell us how many students will be placing there?
7.
7.
Yes. We're very, very excited.
Okay.
Yeah. Up next, the budget update and salary scales with Ms. Long. I'll give a little background. As you know, the budget has been, the bill's been passed. It was a little late. It's put us all in scramble mode, including Ms. Long, but she does a great job leading us in that area. So I would just like for her to give us an update on some changes that might be coming our way.
Okay, there was I included a letter from Dr. Joyce that is explaining some of how we're going to spend our additional funds. And so we received an additional $1,261,720 in state funds. And we have asked the city for an additional $205,209 to come up with a total change to Fund 1 of $1,466,929. We would propose spending this additional money in the following way. We would have to increase our virtual students services due to the fact that the state funding has increased. That would be an increase of $442,634. We would also like to propose an additional 2% raise for our staff. This was approved and funded by has been funded by the General Assembly. It is $114,481. We would like to, we needed some additional funding for the Governor's School for the arts and humanities, and that's additional $6,168. We also would like to fund a virtual lab assistant at Radford High School for $48,058. We have additional assistant principal salaries and benefits at DIS for $5,244. We have a reset program that will cost $78,500. We have funding for a non-VRS retirement plan, a non-VRS employee retirement plan for $70,000. And then we have an additional special education teacher of $104,138. We have some PASS software that will be installed and used at the high school for $2,002. We have some time and attendance and human resource program software that we are going to be purchasing for $5,574. And then we have 6 kindergarten aides. Salaries and benefits for them would be $290,130. And that is how we propose to spend the additional $1,466,929. Are there any questions about Fund 1? And also, there needs to be an additional adjustment to the Southwest Virginia Governor's School. The state provided the additional funding for them to also be able to give it a 4% raise. So that is the reason for the adjustment to their budget. And we have a final proposed amended budget of $51,881,542.
So while you ponder what questions you might have, I just wanted to thank Ms. Long again for waiting all spring long. We passed a budget that we thought was pretty close, and then the state, they sort of caught us off guard with a lot more funding for public education. So Ms. Long had to go back to the drawing board, and she's done a great job with crunching the numbers and giving us something to think about.
If I may, Stacy, would you mind going back to the screen where it actually showed the breakdown of the local match? There was one.
Previous screen.
There was,
Just scroll down just a little bit.
yeah. There's. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. I'm just trying to keep all the numbers right. And if I'm positive question, I'll have questions later, and I'm sure others will too, but, I do think it bears recognition that the information one, as you mentioned, was very late, almost tragically late.
Almost too late.
Coming to us. But again, thank you, Ms. Long and Dr. Joyce, for preparing all this for us and getting it ready. This information was summarily presented last night to the council for anyone who does follow both, as hopefully all of us as citizens do. I'll be as polite professional as possible and say that it wasn't positively received. At least in the expectation that I had from anticipation from the body. But I think it also bears stating, at least one of 5 opinions, we are trying to explore any and all options and avenues available, no matter how odd they may seem, in order to make sure that we can accommodate this, because frankly, I think any of us who do pay attention, if you, in essence, in part or in all, are surrendering $1,466,929 at the possibility of investing, what would we say, 205,000?
209.
209.
205, 209.
Right, yeah, 205, 209, in order to get 1.4 million, you have to spend 200,000. You know, folks, I am a financial person, and that just makes good sense. That's a phenomenal return on investment. So I think it's, you know, not ready to reveal any cards yet or what all is available, but there's plan A, B, C, and D of how to get there if we have to. So I would just say, you know, reach out to those that are in opportunity and say, you know, look, we're behind it, we're not, we want our voice heard, you know, talk to us about it, talk to the council about it, talk to anybody you can about it, you know, whatever. If we have to do a car wash on the side of the road, hey, I'm in, lemonade stand, whatever it takes, let's get there. Because I can't sit here in good conscience and say we need to turn back $1.4 million because of the want of 200,000. That seems unconscionable. So, and I certainly don't want to look at any of our people in the community and say, yeah, here's a list of the programs that these are going to fund. Which one of those do you guys want to do without? Or which combination of those do you want to do without? I don't want to look at any of the students in the eye and say, we had the opportunity to get $1.4 million of funding for you and we chose not to. That seems unfair, but just my 2 cents.
I would also suggest that you go back on YouTube and watch the meeting. This discussion happens very early in the meeting, so you can follow. And I would say, just to clarify, with a required match, we probably all know, but they put that big pot of money on the table. We have a much, much lesser match in order to claim it. If we don't, it's off the table. You're out of luck. So it's crucial to the services that we're providing to our students with IEPs, to our at-risk students, to our preschool students, to our K-3 students for reduced class sizes. It's very critical, very critical. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else for Ms. Long? Thank you.
I just want to say how much I appreciate you. You know, when we're looking at the budget and we're trying to figure out numbers, there is no doubt when you're the one behind them. So I know, I'm speaking for myself, but I see the head. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So the next agenda item is a classic. We put the cart before the horse last night, so to speak. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but the city did pass a resolution last night that would make it possible to have the 1% local sales tax referendum placed on the November ballot. And so what that means for us would be capital reserve funding for our schools that can only be used for capital projects, including buildings and renovation of existing buildings. So I appreciate the city's voting that forward, but now the work begins, because we've got to convince the citizens of Radford that this is not like other taxes. This would be a 1% increase on sales tax that doesn't apply to groceries or personal hygiene products. And I think some of the attraction of this tax would be folks from out of town, whether that be traveling up and down I-81 or our neighbors from Montgomery County or Pulaski County that come to the city of Radford to take advantage of some of the businesses we have here. Those are the folks that will lift this partially. And of course, obviously, it will be some of our own citizens that'll be subject to this tax. But by and large, I think this is different than most sales tax, or most taxes in general, because there is a chance for outsiders to help contribute. This is one of to my knowledge, this is the only time the voters of the city of Radford would be able to determine where their school funding was directed. In other words, they'll pay taxes, the taxes go to the city, and then, we spend it as we see fit. In this case, the tax goes directly to capital projects. So as a taxpayer, I would feel comfortable that this amount would be used solely for the upkeep and renovations and maintenance of our aging facilities. And they are aging, and you'll hear more about that in just a few moments. But I would just like to say, as the superintendent, that I support this referendum being on the ballot. I appreciate the fact that it'll have citizen input, obviously direct citizen input, but I just want to make sure the citizens, and the board does as well, want to make sure the citizens are educated before they go to the ballot about what this tax is, what it is not, what it can do for us, what it's not able to do for us. So that's what we'll be working on the next few months. The board and I and some of our folks here at Central Office will be helping to educate the public about this tax. 9 localities had this option in years prior, but now the General Assembly has opened it and the governor has opened it up to all localities to place on the referendum. The first step was last night in that the City Council blessed it to be on the ballot. Now the real work begins. And again, that'll take all of us to educate the public. And frankly, if anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to my office and I'm happy to discuss. Okay? Any questions about? This was a resolution that it was very formal, sort of like what we read for Mr. Brown and Mr. Martin and Ms. Grimm. But this was going to be just show of support, but I see no reason to read through it now. The city has acted. And again, this is a tight timeline. The court system has to make a decision as to whether to put this on the ballot or not by August 14th, and there are certain other benchmarks that have to be hit between now and then. So it's all hands on deck.
It's going to be a lengthy ballot. We need to make sure people are looking for it.
Right.
To vote appropriately.
I don't pretend to know much about how this works, but I'm being told that we would be the last question on the ballot that will be behind the House of Representatives, City Council elections, school board elections, Senate, and 3 constitutional amendments, and then our little 1% sales tax question. But it is no less important. It's just the way it works out. So that's the latest on that, and again, I'm happy to answer questions. It's all brand new. It's brand new to everyone except for the 9 localities that have already had experience with it. Of those 9 localities, 8 passed it. So, they know a good thing when they see it. But we will all become educated for sure by November.
And there are many more school systems that are doing the same thing we're doing now that they have the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. It's been brought up in the General Assembly for years and years, and it finally was passed. And so there's a reason for that. Maybe the timing wasn't right years ago, but the timing is right now. All right. Next, I'd like to invite to the podium our friends from ZMM to update us on our facility. Speaking of facilities, to update us on our facilities assessment project that's been going on for several months. Very good. So this will be our first look at where this 1% sales tax increase may go.
I'll give this to the board chair.
Oh, look at there, some reading for you.
That'll teach you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Who wants to check that out first?
Would you please give us the clip notes for that? Yeah, you read it, you let us know.
So that is actually
Facilities
part of how we
assessment
prep
for
it,
dummies.
is there is kind of a Cliff Notes
Thank
portion
you.
of things, and then there's the part that you fall asleep to as you read.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. The floor is yours.
All right.
Oh,
Are we? I think we'll stay here just so we have a microphone, but.
Yeah.
I can project. Can you all hear me okay? I think I have a big booming voice, so I think I can probably
And the clicker as well.
do okay. So I thank you all for having us here today. It's our pleasure to come and share with you this information. Our company has devoted a lot of time and resources to it. We know this is very critical to Radford City Schools. Let's give you a little bit of background. I'm a Pulaski County native. I live in Snowville, but Radford's basically my home. So I've been watching what's been going on in the school system for many, many, many years. So I'm glad that the time has come that we have this information to present to you so that you can develop a comprehensive plan for your facilities. So we have a quick presentation for you. This material here is great for some late night reading or if you want to go to sleep, but it's written in a way that we hope is easy to understand, easy to digest, a lot of pictures there. So if you do have an opportunity to take a look at it, we've also provided it digitally so that you can look at it on your computer. But we had a team of architects and engineers from our company visit each of the schools and document the existing conditions on where they are. The interesting thing is from the time we went to document them till our meeting yesterday, the maintenance department's already done some of these things. So they're definitely on top of it. So our team includes architects, civil engineers, mechanical and plumbing engineers, and electrical engineers. And they looked at all of your major building systems in terms of what's the remaining useful life. How much longer does this rooftop unit have? How much longer does this roof have? So that you can then begin planning on how to replace those items. We're using a standard called the Building Owners and Managers Association, which is called the BOMA, and there's an example of that I've included in the presentation. Each school has a BOMA sheet to it, which has a lot of good information just for at a glance type thing. So hopefully that will be very beneficial to you, and also maintenance, because it's an Excel spreadsheet, can integrate that into their maintenance plan. So hopefully that will be a valuable asset for you. So the point of this assessment is to give you kind of a bird's eye view of what we feel like you will need to be looking at for the next 10 years, which really is a really pretty short duration when you think about it, because time goes by fast. Next slide. So I want to preface by saying that the maintenance department has done an excellent job. And if you've already seen the numbers, you know there's a staggering amount of work that needs to be done. This is not for their lack of trying. Just like if you have a 20-year-old car, eventually that car is just going to be worn out. No matter how many times you replace the radiator, the tires, whatever, eventually the car is going to be worn out, and some of your facilities are just at that point. So they're doing a really great job. Some of your components are over 50 years old, which I know you guys, you know that. So the fact that you're still able to use those facilities and kids are able to learn in them and play in them and do all sorts of things is, again, commendable to the maintenance department for keeping them up and running. I remember when Bell Heath was the new elementary school that, you know, everybody was talking about, and lo and behold, it's 17 years old. So it's, like I said, the older you get, the more time seems to go by faster. And you go by there and you look at it and you're like, that is a new school. It looks great. It's 17 years old. So within the next 10 years, there's going to be some major building components that will have to be addressed in that. So there is a line item in here for a renovation at Bell Heath, which might surprise some of you. It probably doesn't need to be done towards the end of the 10-year cycle, but again, you should be aware of them so you can at least plan for them. McCarg Elementary School was just recently renovated, some large additions put on. However, there's still some work there to remain. It's not a lot, but there are still some components there that need to be replaced. So those are some things we would also recommend you include in your 10-year plan. So, the high school campus, which is the bulk of the work that needs to be done, also includes John Dalton Intermediate School. There are buildings on the campus that are well over 50 years old, as you know, and they're all being used, they're all being maintained to their best of their abilities, but they are desperately in need of some basic building infrastructure improvements. So We'll dive into that a little bit. And I'm going to have Hunter kind of explain how this BOMA ranking system works for you.
I'm going to step over because I'm apparently a low talker. So we do say that we utilize BOMA. BOMA is not all-inclusive for all the building elements that you might have in your building, especially as it comes to mechanical equipment. So there are a few other standards that we reference. We reference ASHRAE, which is one of your major standards for heating, ventilation, cooling equipment. Where there's no standard document like BOMA or ASHRAE that exists that says each of these things last this long, then we rely on industry standard warranties, expected lifespans. For instance, a membrane roof, typically you're looking at a 20-year lifespan, something like that. So if there is a system that's not covered by one of those standards that we could directly point to and say that's a 20-year product, then we've got another way to quantify that. But they're all something that is based in science or in industry standard. It's not us just making stuff up. Sorry, I should explain this. We did color code that spreadsheet. So if it's red, typically that's going to be a life safety concern, say a wall's falling down or there's some sort of fall hazard that exists that in some way presents a life safety concern. These are things that we expect you should address immediately. The two, which is kind of an orange color on screen for those looking there, it's a little more yellow than orange, but it isn't. That one is a system has reached its useful life there, and this is again based on a standard. BOMA, for instance, thinks we replace carpet a lot more regularly than anybody replaces carpet, but there are instances where if something says it's past its useful life, but we've looked at its condition and said, you know what, we've really done a great job of maintaining that, it'll show a negative number. It'll say that it's -5 years in terms of lifespan remaining. But that also means that your maintenance department, your custodians have done a great job keeping that product in service. And you'll find quite a few of those through this study. You've only been given one example, but we mentioned Cliff Notes before. The smaller binder there just has the BOMA and another document in it to serve as that Cliff Notes as you move forward. Then the next three are just kind of your either major repair, minor repair, maintenance categories. And using one as an example, and my glasses are not good enough to read it off the TV, so we're going to switch here. We did use Bell Heath, as it's the one that kind of is coming close to the end of a lot of the product cycles that were included in that building. You've got a membrane roofing system there that is 3 to 4 years from being out of service. We have already documented some failing joint sealants around the perimeter where they're not totally failing, but you can see the signs of degradation there. You see cracking, you see splitting. The building is aging as it should. We see things falling in line generally with how they are, but again, based on the numbers, based on what we're seeing there, it is nearing time where we should be anticipating doing the renovations. There have been some signs of water infiltration here and there. We have some notes about painting steel where existing paints have failed on steel that's exposed to the weather. There have been times where water was getting in the building and you can tell that it's been stopped. So again, maintenance has done their job over time, but eventually you'll do some renovations to upgrade those finishes, ceiling tiles that may have some spotting from previous leaks that eventually you can replace. Very few on this one are already in the 2 category, but you do have a few that are 3 where you've got broken floor tile, broken ceiling tiles, missing ceiling grids, things of that nature. Door hardware seems to be an ever-changing thing in school design. What we have now is totally different than what we were using 20 years ago. The door hardware you have, for the most part, is in good shape, but there are, again, a few places where you'll see that there are spots that need to be renovated. Where we really start to see at this particular school a need to look at systems are your mechanical and plumbing systems, where you may have some controls, some existing mechanical units that are kind of past their prime or very near to past their prime. We also had a few situations where things just weren't functioning as intended. So while theoretically there's still some lifespan left in that unit, we may have some modifications, repairs that need to be made. I can highlight, like, if you're on the plumbing page, and I did in advance, my apologies to the folks in the crowd. The water heater is technically 2 years past its service life. Drinking fountains, again, are also 2 years past their service life. But then your electrical components are all basically showing as being 5-year, condition 5. They've got plenty of time left. Little close to being out of service on your lighting, but for the most part, most of it's working okay, but it is an antiquated system that we don't use anymore. So as renovations do happen, you're going to be looking at kind of wholesale replacement in some areas where you're not going to use that same system anymore when you come back. We do note at Bell Heath one red category. I thought I clicked it. There we go. There's some drainage, icing issues at the bus canopies. The bus canopies, we also observe some water infiltration where it's getting inside the structural steel of the bus canopy, and as you walk around, you can see staining. These, again, are largely cosmetic, but at present. But as they continue, as that water infiltration continues on, you'll eventually have to do some maintenance there or even replacement if things get bad enough. So to Randy's point, this is the new school, and yet there are things we need to plan for now in terms of preserving that school, making sure that it's able to serve as long as Radford High School and the others have served.
One good visual example is if you go out there and you just walk around the outside of the building, look at all of the metal siding. A lot of those fasteners are backing out, so those need to be reattached and resecured. Over time, over 17 years, things move, and so we just want to make sure that things stay buttoned up tight so that water doesn't get into the building.
And that's a condition. We just did a study for Montgomery County as well. As we're walking around Blacksburg High School, same metal panels on the wall, same condition. The fasteners are backing out on that. Yours actually have the benefit of not having the rivets that Blacksburg High School has. The rivets there have torn out, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it, whereas this one is just a screw that you can reattach, ideally. I'm sure there will be a few places where things are stripped out and it doesn't work to plan, but again,
Can I ask a question?
It's not an
Where
uncommon.
where those ceiling tiles showed signs that maybe they'd gotten wet or whatever, any concerns about mold?
Most everything we've seen has been dried out for some time.
Okay.
Typically, unless nothing was done in that situation where it got wet and mold was allowed to grow, if nobody did anything, then there's a chance that you still have a lingering issue. We typically look for such things, but everything was generally dried. It was not a condition that was going to continue to support mold growth, and so we didn't see any
It generally
concern.
has like a brownish tint to it. When you start to worry is when you see your ceiling tiles that have a pink and a dark gray and black tint to them. So we did not note any of those. So there doesn't appear to be any active leaks
Okay.
that we identified.
And there's a really scientific method for ascertaining the moisture status. It's usually a meter or a screwdriver on a
Right.
stick, and you poke it and see what happens. But
If
we
water
didn't.
comes out, that's bad.
But we didn't observe any moist conditions that I think would be cause for
Okay.
concern. And then, is this your spot?
You run through these, yep.
Okay. So just starting off with Bell Heath, I guess we're in alphabetical order, or are we in elementary school order? I missed
I
it.
think we're
You've got a 75,000 square foot building. We did highlight line items there. The drainage and the icing issues at the bus canopy. Again, we've already mentioned VCT. Carpet is typically a short duration thing. It's been in service for 17 years. People are creatures of habit. They walk in the same path all the time. We wear out the same path. These are all just wear items for the most part until we get to the mechanical systems and controls. I think kind of hit on that, and the water heater and the drinking fountains. A few that we didn't touch on before, repainting fire lane curbs. This is, again, maintenance type stuff. Everything else has been maintained pretty well. Accessibility at curb ramps. We did note a lot of deficiencies at sites, and this is the case with all schools in the state of Virginia, that the standards continue to change. What was code compliant when we built it is no longer code compliant. It's our duty to, point out that if you do anything, we should fix it. But we do note that there are some accessibility issues here and there. The same will happen at your playgrounds. Anywhere you have a playground, nobody in the state's accessible. Very few are. So there will be notes about routes to the playground, then routes within the playground. So we have accessible fixtures on the playground, but you also have to be able to get to them. A little bit in the way of storm drainage fixes, those tie in there at the front canopy. The site signage had a few minor issues, the canopy water infiltration that we've mentioned, and the siding reattachment. So we've kind of beaten Bell Heath to death. As we get to McHarg, very recently renovated. Some of the things that weren't done, there are some central sections of that building that had a roof replacement prior to the main renovation. Those are showing some major signs of issues, and I would anticipate that you should be looking at a roof replacement of those areas sometime in the near future. Some maintenance work can be done in the meantime to address that. The wheelchair lift is non-functional. Honestly, we think it wasn't hooked up.
Yeah.
Some playground equipment that's showing signs of degradation of the surfaces. Some of the anchorage is a little lacking on those. There are polycarbonate canopies around that building that have had trim pieces fall off. Some of the flashing where the membrane roof transitions into that polycarbonate needs some attention. There's some places where we could potentially see damming effects from that transition. And then a few curb ramp issues here and there on the site where, again, adding flared sides and things would meet accessibility requirements that maybe weren't necessarily included in the renovation, but we could address going forward. John Dalton Intermediate School, as you go through the study, you'll find that the John Dalton portion of things is a little thinner than some of the others. That's because a lot of the systems of that building are tied in with the high school. So as you go through, make sure you reference the high school as well, just so it's addressed in its entirety. There's stairs to one of the doors that have some fairly significant degradation, some railings that are rusting, but everything else that comes as a major recommendation on that one is really tied in with the high school as well. The high school, there are some older cracks that we're recommending adding crack monitors. There are already crack monitors in that building. Based on our walk around, we don't believe there's current movement, but just for the sake of protection and moving forward, we're saying that we should install some crack monitors, and that way you also don't have staff concerned about things that they think moved. Well, the crack was actually there 20 years ago. It hasn't moved, but it just popped up today as a concern. So that kind of deals with that. We'll cut down on some of your administrative time and chasing those sorts of things. And there's a transformer at that site that is leaking oil and is a major concern as far as an immediate need to repair. The Armory building is a lovely shell of a building that needs a lot of work. We've identified as a full building renovation. The gymnasium building, if you do renovate, there are materials that would be abated. Right now, your bleachers are non-functional. They don't move in and out. They're currently an impediment to some service for your mechanical systems. Ideally, those are replaced, and as part of that replacement, we'd also address some accessibility in the gym if you were to move forward with that. The gym building in general has some accessibility issues as far as the routes, where you can go, and if you need to go to the bathroom. The King Center features a damage that we commonly see where your downspout boots are beaten to death by lawnmowers. It just happens. The toilet partitions, they're typical powder-coated toilet partitions. You see some rusting, some breaking of hardware, that sort of thing. So we would expect that you'll be replacing those. The blinds and shades, we noted a lot of those were probably down permanently, or they're in whatever position they're in permanently. Some of them showed other just actual physical damage. Areas where the wall base is just missing, or VCT is starting to wear, chunks are coming out of it just based on where it is, what's hitting it, that sort of thing. The same recommendation for crack monitors, the ceiling tiles again. It comes with a similar issue where you've had spotting, you've had random replacements where something's gotten broken by a kid throwing a ball or something like that. Eventually, there will be a replacement of those. Paint is one of those. It can be a maintenance item. It can be part of a renovation. And system-wide, we also saw a lot of your brick and window sealants. They've aged. They've started to crack. While your windows are still in great condition, your brick is in good condition. The sealants at the joints, the sealants at trims, things like that, they're a shorter lifespan item and will eventually need to be replaced. And just for my greedy purposes, I'll throw out that don't just put caulk over top of caulk, remove the existing caulk so that you don't create a capillary to suck water in. And then the administration building here, major renovations, you'd perform abatement, plaster ceilings. We understand this is a building with some historical value and context. So our recommendations for this one are also trying to be consistent with what this building has been, what it needs to be going forward. There are windows here that are no longer serving their purpose. The glazing in them, single glaze, the compounds that are holding that in are hanging on for dear life. You have aging electrical panels. The ramp out front has some issues with the guards and things on it. I guess that's technically a handrail and not a guard. And then fences and gates around this complex are ideally in need of some work. And now's when I get to hand off to Randy.
Nobody wants to deal with the cost issues, so this is kind of like a death by 1,000 cuts here. So there's, obviously you're using your buildings, they're functioning, kids are doing well, you're winning awards, and the school system has a stellar reputation, but there are needs that need to be addressed. The first one we'll look at is Bell Heath. We broke these down into categories for civil, architectural, mechanical, electrical, and then contingency, which are just other items that you would need to anticipate for a building renovation. So one of the things at Bell Heath is eventually that parking lot is going to have to be repaved. The pavement's failing, so there's a line item there for that. Architectural. So this particular project, one thing leads to another. If your lighting fails or your mechanical systems fail, then you're looking at removing your ceilings, you're looking at removing all your lights and replacing those, redoing your mechanical system, and it just becomes a bigger issue. It's not just you can go in and just replace one thing. Is kind of a ripple effect. So although the building looks new for most practical purposes, towards the end of 10 years, you should be looking at probably investing another $9 or $10 million into that project. At that point, it'll be 27 years old. So most building systems are designed to last 20 years. So not the best news. Again, I still look at that building and see it's new, but for McCarg, of course, it was recently renovated and some large additions were put on it. However, there's still some items that need to be addressed. I'm sure some of these things weren't done just for budgetary reasons, or I think this is the fourth year it's been open, or this will be the fourth year it's open. So 4 years have passed. If you factor in that 2 years of planning, so 6 years ago, the roof that Hunter referred to was probably still considered relatively new. But now 6 years have passed and got 10 more years going on top of that. You're suddenly seeing a roof system that needs to be replaced sooner than later. So mechanical systems the same way. There's some mechanical recommendations, and if you would like to read the report, it gets into detail on some things that need to be added and incorporated into that. So it's not a ton of work, but again, it's these little things that just add up. It's about $2.7 million worth of work at McCarg, which is not urgent right now, but is something that you need to plan for. So. John Dalton Intermediate, basically when we reference that, I'm just referencing basically the two-story classroom portion of it, and then the little additions that were done on the in the middle and on the backside, the breezeway connection there. Not a lot of work that needs to be done there. Some minor maintenance items, some ceiling and finishes replacements. So in the grand scheme of things, it's a little over $200,000. So it's minor. It's certainly doable within maintenance budgets. So no major concerns there. So your big issue is obviously the high school campus, and that probably doesn't come as a surprise to you. For as long as I've even was aware that Radford High School was there, the only thing I can remember being new is the King Center being built, and then the little breezeway connection between the high school and the middle school. So, so there's a significant amount of work there, and it's broken down into, again, different systems, but your largest portions are going to be your mechanical, plumbing, and electrical work, which are infrastructure issues, which again, in some cases are 50 years old. So they have definitely served the city well. These buildings have served the city well. It's just, you're at a time now where does it really make sense to continue dumping resources into a building that maybe isn't worth saving. So and that's something you as the board need to consider as you move forward, as some of the numbers get pretty significant and you may not get the return of value on it. So just, again, something to look at. Our report doesn't make any recommendations on closing or abandoning any buildings. Ours is just simply to get them back up to standards that are acceptable and safe, and that students can hopefully thrive and flourish in. Armory building, it's a relatively small building, but it's, again, this is one where it probably needs to be some thought put into it. Over $3 million in renovations are needed for that facility, and again, I'm not sure that building is such a good one. So. What's that?
I forgot to click.
Oh, okay. Thank you. The gymnasium building, pretty substantial renovations there. Again, a lot of that is just going to be architectural finishes, mechanical upgrades, and those types of things. The King Center, which again, I still think, I remember when it was built and how exciting that was for the community. It is also looking at some moderate renovation that will need to be done. It's a couple $1 million. It's not urgent. It's a lot of it's aesthetics and just maintenance type items. And then the admin building here, we're in this room here. It's a beautiful boardroom. It looks great. But you do have some components of the building that will need to be addressed if it's going to continue to be used as your school system administration building. So there's about $1.8 million there. So when you total this up, it's a grand total of $52,280,000, and I about fell out of my chair when I added this up because I wasn't really anticipating this. But if you look at the numbers, it's mostly the high school. It's the high school campus, and because there's so many buildings on that campus that need to be addressed. So not the best news, but it's information that you as a board need so that you can plan. Obviously, I don't expect you're going to be able to do $52 million worth of work in the next 10 years. But again, it will help you to prioritize and figure out what your greatest needs are so that you can at least plan for that. And then also, City Council needs to be aware that there are significant maintenance needs that need to be thought about. So, and I understand the politics. I follow them very closely. So,
You know what you're saying.
So there's a lot of detail in these reports, but again, we wrote a report so that most anyone could read them, follow them, and understanding. There's not a lot of technical terms in it. There's not a lot of charts and things like that. We wanted it to be user-friendly, a lot of pictures in there so you can reference the pictures. So hopefully you'll find that beneficial. It's just a big volume of paper to carry around. But do you all have any questions at this point that we can answer?
I don't want to be presumptive, but the detailed report that you provided, because as you mentioned, most of our facilities are just one building that houses multiple things, but the high school being the exception to that rule.
Yeah.
Is it safe to then presume that in your detailed report there is a breakdown by building on
Yes.
that campus?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
That was because as much as I would love to say, there's $53 million. We'll just rebuild everything tomorrow.
Right. No,
You know,
no.
and if you guys are in a position to do that, we will take a check from you.
Just stroke that check right now.
There's some folks we won't, but from you guys, yeah, absolutely.
So there's a whole section like on the Armory building. It's like its
Right.
own report that will outline everything. So
We're all kind of laughing about the Armory building because we had actually made an offer on the building and it didn't work. So we'll just leave it at that. But again, as we're trying to prioritize, and Mr. Graham, I'm looking right at you when I say this, my friend, because obviously we're going to rely very heavily on making some sincere
Sure.
decisions of,
absolutely.
and I love the method of this is a life safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wall falling, we need to deal with it, versus you have a mechanical piece that's leaking fluid. Okay, I probably ought to do something about that.
Yeah.
That's high on the list. Versus there's some grass growing through the pavement. It's like,
Right.
yeah, that's unfortunate, but is it going to hurt anybody? Well,
Right.
it could, but So I appreciate that breakdown. That was my question.
And so part of what we deliver too is every photo we took, there's thousands and thousands of photos. They're all in a digital archive that are turned over too. So it's not just the reports you've got, there's also just if somebody wants to sit and click for many, many hours, we have that too.
It's about a gig of information, isn't it?
Oh, no,
It's more.
it's a lot more.
More than that.
Oh,
It's a lot.
wow.
Yep.
I don't know, one of our people must have been clicking in the highest quality photo he could have found, but there's a few that are accessible.
These were great Cliff Notes, so
Yes,
you guys did such a
absolutely.
good job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's presented in such a way that even I understand.
Exactly.
Numbers are not.
And that's always our goal because, again, the citizens, the taxpayers, they pay for these facilities and they need to be able to understand too that this is just not something that the school board has neglected for 20 years. So that is not the case at all. And it's very important that everybody understands that, again, every building has a life. And at some point you have to decide, when is that life done?
How cushioned are these numbers?
Pardon?
How cushioned are these numbers?
We use 2026 numbers.
Okay.
Now, there's a disclaimer in there. Every year, you can probably anticipate a 2 to 3% increase, and that really gets substantial over time, unfortunately. Right now, construction costs are still
And 2 to 3
sky high.
conservative.
Yeah.
We have $1 million here,
Yes.
$1 million there, pretty soon you're talking about some real money.
Yep.
And, I mean, we do actively track material costs and things. So membrane roofing skyrocketed back during the COVID and the short period after, and then it's kind of come down a little bit. So we do base our estimates on what we're seeing in the market, but we also try to make sure that, if something went down, we don't just assume that's the permanent condition.
Yeah. Yeah. The roof is a great example. Before COVID, the roof was $12 a square foot. During COVID, it was $24 a square foot.
Or 40.
Or 40, yeah, it goes as high as 40. Now it may have dropped $4 a square foot. It's never going to go back to where it was. It may drop a little bit, but at least the trend is not continuing to skyrocket. So
The undertaking at Radford High School couldn't have been timed better, honestly. Like that happened right before everything went up.
Mhm.
That one still, we did identify a few areas where there's some drainage problems on that roof, some additional things that could be done. But in terms of bang for your buck versus what we're paying now, that one was very well timed.
Yeah.
Well, I think it bears mentioning that this report is exactly what we needed to have in front of us when we go to fight for that 1% sales tax.
Yes. Yes.
And, one thing to keep in mind is that we would no longer have to approach City Council for Fund 5 monies. It would be built in through the 1% tax, which would go directly towards this big stack of repairs. So, I didn't ask for the timing, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to ignore it. So that's something to keep in mind.
Use it to our benefit.
Right.
And you guys stated you done Montgomery counties also, didn't you? Okay.
Yep. We've also done we did Roanoke counties. They're getting ready to do an update on theirs, and we're currently working on Smith County schools on all their facilities. So a lot of school divisions are going through this process.
So I appreciate Mr. Grimm and his team, from the RFP all the way to the finished product.
Yes.
Giving us something to work with, and we are much more clear about our objectives now. So
And we
thank
had
you.
full access to the building, and that was fantastic. We had, our engineers want to go into every little mechanical closet, they want to get on the roof, they want to look at everything. So it was, thank you so much for making that access available to us, so.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In your agenda that you received a few days back, there was a memorandum of agreement between our great partners at New River Valley Community Services, and that is something we do annually. So hopefully you had a chance to look that over, and we'll come back to that, but I do want you to know how much we value our relationship within our VCS, and they're very good to us, and we consider them a valuable partners, and we'd like to continue that. Also, it's that time of year where we go over our safety and crisis management guides. Each school has submitted a crisis plan, which we will not make public, but you guys have access to that. And if Mr. Martin wouldn't mind coming to the podium for just a moment, he's been integral in this process. He's been at every meeting. Obviously, his day job is to take care of our kids, and he does a great job of that. But also, we picked on him to help us create the most effective safety plan. So, thank you. Sergeant Martin.
Yeah, so basically, we're just adopting a plan that had been put out there by Virginia DCGS, and it was just kind of a plug and play, but it addresses all the needs that we need. Up to this point, we had a very thin crisis plan. There was a lot of holes in it, a lot of questions for me as if we were in a situation, how we want to react to it. This way, it kind of gives you a cut and dry plan. It's creating a safe environment, a better environment for people to learn in, to work in. It follows our SRPs, which, our standard response plans if we go into a lockdown or a hold situation. It follows the SRM if we're going to do a reunification, if we're going to be moving off site. It establishes safety teams, what everybody's role is going to be in a situation. If we have to go to reunification, who's going to be the checkers, who's going to be the people getting out, where are we going to go, where are we going to do these things. So it's a great tool now that we have that we haven't had. And it gets continuity across too. So if you're working at Bell Heath and if you're at the high school, it's the same. We're not changing anything for any school. It's all the same across the board, which that helps. So if we're moving people around, nobody gets confused in how we do things. And I definitely think that we've got to continue to move forward in our safety. We don't want to get stuck in the mud and fall behind, because we do that, it happens quickly. Whether we're making advancements in our technology, but also, what you hear with the recommendations of things that need to be done within the schools. It costs money to do those safety things, to create things. If we were wanting to do, we discussed about a pickup drop-off in a new route for that. Well, now you got to create sidewalks. You have to do those things. But you can see with the structures as old as they are, everything comes with that price for us to be able to upgrade in safety and making sure that we're doing the right thing. This year we're going to do tabletops at every school. We're going to put some exercise in. We're going to get people thinking. With their safety teams in place, we've already done one here. We've identified problems and holes in things so that we can plug those holes and make sure that we're good when times come. It talks about your incident command system, how this is a unified command system, so it's not just one person calling everything. Everybody's in a room together and we're all making those calls. It establishes that role. We're getting the fire department and EMS involved in things that for years we heard crickets from them. We're forcing them to the table so they can be a part. They know what happens in a fire evacuation drill, where kids are being going, so we just don't have a big fire truck lumbering up there and then next day they're going through a pile of kids. They need to know what our safety practices are, what we do. I invite you guys to come to our lockdowns so that you see how we're doing these things, so that you can go out if somebody asks you about it, you have that information to spread to them. But I think we're moving forward in the direction we need to.
Your knowledge, you know all the latest on these on this methodology, so I thank you for
Yes, ma'am.
that.
Thank you. And we're only as good as the next event's what I tell people. We're planning and we're gone off what has occurred, and we're only good as to the next one. But we want to make sure if that next one is us, we're ready for it. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martin has been very instrumental in making sure that we're safe. I also want to thank the principals at each school for giving up large parts of their time to be here for these safety trainings. We're going to visit each school coming up and do tabletop scenarios. Mr. Grimm has his maintenance folks. Mr. Howard has technology, and we all meet in this room around this table, and we're working off the same page, which I think is very important. So thanks again. All right. Student Code of Conduct. We do this also yearly, and it's that time of year. Not much has changed to speak of. You guys have access to that Student Code of Conduct? Any questions? And I want to back up. I also want to thank J.C. Hamilton because he updated our crisis phone tree. So that was, I appreciate that very much.
I would just say that the Student Code of Conduct was a topic of conversation during our retreat, and we've kind of reserved the right to continue to look
Sure.
at it.
We can open that
See
up
if there
for
are any.
editing at any time.
Okay.
Yep. Mr. Grimm,
Sir,
we've heard a lot from the world of maintenance. Do you have anything to add?
I need my 1%. No,
Don't we all?
it's overwhelming in some ways to look at what we've got. I can stand up, I'm sorry. I appreciate the ability to do the ADA assessment, which we're getting the final components of that for the elementary schools. We've completed it at the high school. It works hand in hand with the 7 inches of binder we have in front of us. That's why I asked for it.
Do you have these?
I have them digital. I don't do paper like that.
If you need to borrow,
So,
okay.
because I'll hit Control F and then I can find what I'm looking for really quickly on my phone or my laptop. We have a big responsibility ahead of us, and the biggest thing when I pitched this idea to Dr. Joyce was this needs to be a live document. We can't just get it done and put it on the shelf and let it age and collect dust. It really needs to kind of drive some of our major plans, capital plans that we have going forward. It basically defines the rest of my career here in a lot of ways. And that's good to know at the end of year 1 where we are for the next 8 at least. And then kind of figure out where we need to go. Obviously, as board priorities change, we understand that. But I kind of challenge this board, and I know it's not really my place to say that, but I do, to kind of establish what those priorities are going forward for those who follow you. Because if, I know in your shoes, you always remember what those before you valued and how they judged the data that was given to them. This is about as objective as it gets, because I'm not the guy, and my gentlemen who are helping me in maintenance can climb on a roof, but they're not the experts. We brought in engineers and we had them everywhere. I mean, I assigned them fobs to 20 different people. We had folks coming in from Ohio and West Virginia to take part in this study from part of the same company. It's very valuable information we have, and we need to use it to the best of our ability so we can prioritize which projects need to get done. We're in a world where the glitter and the streamers is sometimes what gets the best response. But if the AC goes out 3 days later, after we get a nice big project in place, then the entire world's upset with us. And we're in a day and age, if you don't have AC, sometimes you can't have school. So we never want to be in that spot. So I really am looking to you for assistance in figuring out where we are to set those up. And I'm going to speak with Dr. Joyce here in the next coming days about setting up a workshop time where we can go back in and possibly prioritize that with ZMM's help to figure out where we're going next. Because we've got a lot ahead of us. But we can do it. I think it's a possibility. We just have to figure out what our resources are. So, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Board members, if you would bear with me, I'm gonna open this time instead of giving you a turn, and that's because I want to allow you time for input. This is concerning the VSBA's request for nominations for School Board Clerk of the Year. And so we had to nominate Ms. Long. So I would just read the statement that I turned in and then I'll ask you guys to chime in. But in my nomination, I said, with the utmost respect and admiration, I'm happy to support the nomination of Carrie Long for the VSBA School Board Clerk of the Year. During my second year as a school board chair, I've seen firsthand the many ways Ms. Long serves our school division. She is our budgetary and financial expert who has the answers to all of our questions. Can we afford this? Let's ask Ms. Long. What are the latest LCI, LRE, LRM numbers of this year? Just ask Ms. Long. When I sign a check and I want more information about it, I ask Ms. Long. She provides monthly financial reports to the board members, is always prepared to answer our questions or provide explanations. Ms. Long is also the financial officer for the Southwest Virginia Governor's School and for our partners at Stride K-12 for our virtual students. She accompanies our superintendent to budget meetings with our city council, to meetings with our city manager and the Radford City Director of Finance. Due to her many years of experience and service, Ms. Long can provide information about how financial matters have been handled in the past for a frame of reference. As a retired teacher in RCPS, I knew Ms. Long as the one to ask questions about paychecks, reimbursements, retirement, and more. In every interaction, she was gracious and happy to help. She is the consummate professional while still inspiring trust and friendship. I cannot imagine a more deserving recipient of this award. Anybody want to add anything?
That's good stuff.
I've already sang her praises, sorry.
That's fine.
Thank you enough.
I can't imagine, when I think of this board, no offense to any of the rest of you, but that's the source of what I trust as absolute knowledge about where we are. You, ideas, motivation, improving, blah, blah, that's the foundation.
I'll be the blah
what
blah.
we can do.
I'm happy to be her blah blah.
I mean, that's the and smiles. Never
Right.
have I heard her in anything other than a pleasant voice and a smile upon her face. Even when her most worst child calls and says, "Can you make me go virtual on that conference Thursday instead of driving all the way to Virginia Beach?"
I heard it.
You know, so it is a pleasure to work with you, and I'm sure everybody in the system gets that same response.
From my opinion and experience thus far, as much as we may be the arms and legs of the board and reaching out to the community, Carrie, you indeed are the heart. You bring us directly together. You connect us all, and we all know that. I've felt it since before my first day. Truly, it is remarkable, and I see it in every meeting. There are no meetings without you. I wouldn't dare. I mean, honestly, if I walk in the room and you're not sitting here, I'm leaving. I'm going back in the Jeep. I'm going home, and I'm going to cover my head and hope it was a bad nightmare. So there can be no one else for that job. And I would say, Madam Chair, my friend, I would say it goes far beyond just the financial reaches of that and the historical reaches of that. Carrie, I have seen firsthand when we are in council meetings and other things in the community that other boards and administration facilities reach out to you for information, not just financial, but you are our guru and our guiding light when it comes to rules of order, and are we staying within the bounds of what we can and should do. So sincerely, thank you. It means the world, not just to me, but to anyone and everyone that I speak to. I'm like, you can tell me what you want. I'm going to see if Carrie says it's okay. If it is, we'll go with it. And if it isn't, you know what? Yeah, that's too bad. It doesn't exist. So thank you. As a financial person here,
Well, I don't know how I could say anything else, but I do know this.
But you'll try.
To these guys and the RCPS family, they are very fortunate to have you for what you do. And I hope they all know that. Like they ought to bring you donuts, they ought to bring you coffee every day, you know, so, but thanks for everything you do. It does not go unnoticed to these guys, I know for sure, so.
Okay. All right. And I just had one more thing. And this is looking ahead, but September 17th is Constitution Day. And I don't know if we're aware, but each educational institution that receives federal funds for a fiscal year shall hold an educational program on the United States Constitution on September 17th of such year for the students served by the educational institution. So I would just like for us to be thinking about ways that we can support that. And I don't know how costly it would be to provide, or if we provide constant handheld Constitution booklets or anything like that? Yes? Okay. I just would like to see us make sure that our students are informed about the laws of the land. So, okay, now I'm done.
Just real quick, and I promise it'll be quick. Stop. I had the great opportunity, I won't say good, great opportunity to participate in an online presentation, timely and relevant to the most recent holiday, the 4th of July, and our 250th anniversary as a country. Absolutely an amazing presentation that was put on. It took a deep dive into historically accurate representations of our founding fathers and the presentation that was done there at the time that process was happening, the mindset that led up to that, the emotional as well as the financial decisions, my tie-in, as to what led to the decision to...
And the risk that they took.
Right.
They were
the
traitors.
extreme risk that came along with making the decision to say we need to be independent of our ruling authority. The thing that really struck out to me is over the years you've heard a lot of different opinions and thoughts and things about it that have in time really been disproven and set aside of, oh, we were wrong about that. Let's not make a big deal of it, move on. There was a great deal of faith taken in every sense of the word in order to make that giant leap of independence. And something that was put at the end of the meeting actually was kind of a side note, but it really just has dug into me. And I challenge, there's a limited amount we can do as a board, but I challenge anyone out there, parents, independent citizens, anyone, frankly, something so simple that I took for granted whenever I was in school, of being able to read, understand, and interpret cursive handwriting. We all groan and go, oh, why? I've seen it as a business professional in the financial industry that we have so many people now who can't sign their name. They print their name because they don't learn cursive writing. They don't learn signatures. And I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about voting age adults who cannot sign a name. They print it. Folks, that's regression. That's horrifying to see. But the reason I bring it up, and the reason it came up in that presentation, was the Declaration of Independence as well as the Constitution was not printed. It was not typed. It was written. It was absolutely handwritten on vellum and is there and available. And I've actually seen people firsthand who were trying to read a copy and can't. If you cannot read the document that quite literally provides you the foundation of the freedoms that we have, and I will take whatever heat comes from this week, the God-given rights that we have. A right is not allowed. It is not permitted. It is granted by the Creator for you to have. That document, those documents stipulate that verbatim. Whenever you have an authority who says, we'll permit you to do this, that's called permission. I have written documentation that I can read, because I can read cursive writing, that state firsthand, that is first leveled proof and authority. I can take someone, I have written, scripted copies that you can go in and read, and someone else translated it and said, okay, this is what it says. Does it really? If you can't read cursive, do you know? You're taking someone else's word for it. That's a very trusting thing. It's a very blind faith. There's also a lot of other laws that are in place to protect people who don't have any other choice. Because if you weren't able to read and write at one point in our nation's time, you weren't able to vote. So you had to take someone's word for what was happening to you. Please, I implore you, I encourage everyone, if you ever have a chance, look up the series called Drive Through History. Go to the one for Independence Day. Okay? The presentation that I was able to listen to was based off of that presentation. Strongly encourage you to do so. It is very, very, very motivating. Look into it, be aware of it, but please, if you are a student, you're an adult, you don't know how to read cursive, if you're a parent, for crying out loud, sit down, figure it out, ask somebody, educate each other so that you understand what are your actual God-given creator rights that you have in this country that they don't have in other places. But if you can't read it, you can't understand it. And if you don't understand it, you can never exercise them. You're taking someone else's word for it. What if they're not being honest? Okay? That's all I had. It was a fantastic presentation. Like I said, strong look into it. Drive Through History. It's a kitschy show thing. It comes on History Channel every now and then. But it really is. It does get your attention. It goes quickly. I've actually watched it with my family a couple times because it is entertainment as well as informational. But great presentation that actually came through on that. That's all I got.
Thank you.
And for me, that was short.
Brian, you got anything? Brian's off to Montana for his daughter's wedding tomorrow, by the way. I think that's going to be pretty awesome.
Big times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friday.
Okay, Amanda.
I'm good.
Okay, Jane.
Kudos to the crew and team that did the book bus yesterday. Neither rain nor storm nor dark night kept kids from being there. The smiles on those faces as they went through the bus, as they were walking away with their arms full of games and popcorn, and I only went to one school. So imagine that times the 5 or 6 places they stopped, and people were there early waiting on the bus to come. So I thought it was really good last year. It was even better this year. I can't wait till next year because it's and that's a lot of work.
It is.
To get it together, to get it organized, to get it funded, to get the materials there, and then to have the police department there, handing out stickers, talking to the kids. All of that is our community working together for our students and our families, and that's what we're about.
Very well said.
Ms. McDaniel, Dr. McDaniel said they served at least 156 children yesterday, and she thought that was a little bit more than the previous year.
That's
This
great.
is something I wonder, because I looked at the tight schedule, and I thought, man, are they really going to be able to adhere to that? I wonder if, I don't know, could we divide it between 2 days and give a half hour to each stop? I don't know. Just a thought.
The first stop.
And I'd be happy to read to kids. We can read to children, yeah.
I wanted to play with the books. I refrained.
I wanted to get out my
Right, so, but when I was at the Fairfax stop, and, it was almost time to go, and there was still people coming. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that would be.
I just wonder if we could revisit that schedule. It was seemed short. All right, so we're moving to action items now. I believe I understood that the budget update is, we're going to wait on that. Okay, because we've approved a budget. We just have to find out what the city is going to do. What's their next move to decide our next move,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, do we have VSBA Assembly Delegate and alternate delegate?
Yeah, we did that, didn't we?
Didn't we decide? I thought we
did
did
last
that.
year,
I
but
thought
we
we,
haven't decided this year.
I thought we did it in January. Was that not what?
Well, no, there's I don't know, it's on the agenda, that's all I know.
I thought we did.
This is for 20.
To go to, pardon me,
No, go right ahead.
if you want to go to the next item.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right, and then the VSBA policy revisions, final reading. Is there a motion, if there's no questions, or is there anything, are there any comments about those policies? Then, is there a motion to approve that May 2026 reading of policy revisions?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and so those policies are approved.
So did we skip that first one? Or we
Yeah,
not?
She's
Well,
going to look it up.
Oh.
The budget
I was
update,
missed that part. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
no, the budget update we did.
Talk about the delegate.
She said the first one, though. I don't know. Okay, never mind. Safety and Crisis Management Guide. We've all seen copies of that, and we heard Mr. Martin's comments about that. So is there a motion to approve that? Safety and Crisis Management Guide.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the nomination of Carrie Long for VSBA School Board Clerk of the Year. Can I hear
All in favor.
Yeah, all right.
a motion?
So moved.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
We've already had our discussion, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Student Code of Conduct for 26-27. And we're going to approve it as it stands. And is there a motion to approve that code of conduct?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, student code of conduct is approved. Did we talk about that reimbursement resolution?
No, that's just something we do every year.
Okay, all right, so it's pretty routine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Reimbursement resolution, VPS ARP 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and have I done everything? Okay. Well, are we going to come back to the delegate thing or just?
Just do it again.
It's not, for some reason, I'm thinking that she might be correct, but I'm not seeing it.
I think they did. I think it was.
I have it in my notes. Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
the
one-
2026, I filled out our little list, and is it on here on our list?
Is it marked on your list?
Yeah, our delegate is, we voted for Jane Swing.
Oh, so that stands for every one of them. Is that correct?
I thought it was for the whole year.
Okay.
I think that would be correct.
Okay, then we would not need to approve them again. Okay, all right. So, Ms. Swing, are you ready to read us into closed?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the board convene into closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the appointment, resignation, and retirement of employees of the school board. Number 2, admission of students, as well as number 7, to discuss consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation, where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body. And consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. For the purposes of this subdivision, probable litigation means litigation that has been specifically threatened or on which the public body or its legal counsel has a reasonable basis to believe will be commenced by or against a known party. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of a meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on a matter.
That was a long one.
It was.
All right, is there a motion to accept this motion for closed session?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, and we're in closed session.